Welcome to the Vid-Ography podcast episode 8. Hello, my name is Matt and I'm back again after a break. First of all, I'd like to say I'm so sorry I haven't had a chance to do the Rocky Horror review at the minute, purely because I am getting quite busy again in my family and my personal life, so it's going to be a bit on a little bit of a hiatus before I start doing reviews, because I want to do it when I'm fully committed, and each opportunity I'll try to sit down and watch a film. I've got to do catch up on certain films. I've not even done my Arrowverse marathon. I've not even done Doc Martin yet. Because that airs again tonight. I've not even done the Gogglebox special, which had Jack and Michael Whitehall on with lovely Hillary, because I always find it fascinating watching that film. So, I'm back with a vengeance. So, first of all, to answer some people's questions, because I know for a fact that we are heading into a bit of, well, I wouldn't say crisis, but a bit of excitement that Doctor Who has finally gotten new figures. I'm quite a bit baffled at them. First of all, to address something that people may noticed, the only cast member that is constantly doing the rounds at the minute, main cast of the companion crew, is Tossin Cole. So, he did one convention a couple of years ago, with all the pilots from The Force Awakens, because he was Lieutenant Bastian in The Force Awakens, which is fair enough. This is before people knew who he was going to be, Ryan Sinclair and everything. Now, the interesting thing, Chicago TARDIS is coming up, and he is attending a convention, and I think fair enough. It's first probably US appearance for him as the companion, which is quite exciting times ahead. But then, come to the new year, he has been announced for two events, 29th of February to the 1st of March in London, and one in Nottingham, May 2nd and 3rd. It leaves the speculation of, is he departing the show? I say this purely because this is not confirmation, it's just speculation. So don't jump at me like, oh, where's your source, where's this, where's that? First of all, I have no source. I'm just going by looking at, because we still don't have a series, right? Yes, we don't have series 12 as far as we know. That's airing early 2020 or whenever in 2020, as it keeps changing constantly. So my thoughts, ladies and gentlemen, is purely that Doctor Who is being a bit lenient with him, probably because I can understand him appearing because the Skywalker saga is finished, which he is attached to because he was part of the first batch of the Skywalker saga's end with The Force Awakens. So he's part of that trilogy, so it's fair enough that he's being booked out not long after the film has aired at Christmas, The Rise of Skywalker, which means that story has come to an end. But from a perspective of a working actor tied to a major British science fiction series, the question is, because from my understanding, is they've just done the filming and everything with the new block for Christmas, so it's understandable that he is back. Yes, again, this is not confirmation, but he did do filming with Mandip and Bradley Walsh not long ago, so again, I personally feel that is for Christmas, given that the director put on his resume that is the Christmas special. But, or it could be New Year, it could be whenever. Just accept it when it comes, ladies and gentlemen. Because I keep seeing Divide and Conquer over this. Just, I get everyone is waiting for news, everyone's waiting for X, Y, and Z to happen, but just please be patient until the BBC announces it. Again, it's fun to speculate, but please do not keep going that one is right more than the other, because I cannot bear that at all, thank you. So, anyway, what else was I going to say? I will be away this weekend, I've talked about, at the premiere in London for Syl and the Devil Seeds of Arodor, which I'm quite excited to be attending my second movie premiere. My first ever one was, oh gosh, it was this year. The House of the Gorgon for lovely Caroline Munro. The reason it took me a second to think about it is because this year has blown so quickly. I mean, how fast has it gone, ladies and gentlemen, from January? I've been out at lots of events this year, and it's been going like a machine gun. The whole year has been blurring, it's been blending into one for me. But again, I've had many ups and downs, like a roller coaster this year, but that's not the point of these podcasts. The point is to be fun and jolly. So I've been hearing that Ben Affleck's replacement, Robert Patterson for Batman. Yes, because he is now, as we've already heard, and it's probably old news by now that he's replaced him. He's bulking up. He wants to prove to people he is the Bat. He wants everyone to give him a chance at being Bat. I'd say, for anyone stepping into the shoes of, like, the legacy people, like, you're filling the gaps of Mark Hamill, Kevin Conroy, you're filling this when you take on iconic roles as, like, Batman and Joker, because they are the definitive versions of the characters in animation, but they're still the longest serving for the characters. So if you're following people in the films like Jack Nicholson, Heath Ledger, Christian Bale, or Michael Keaton, or Val Kilmer, you've just got to make it your own performance. You can have a look into the past, see what the others have done, or completely start from scratch and do it how you would do it. But yeah, I mean, I'm quite excited for the Batman film that he's going to be a part of, because it's quite interesting to me that Robert Patterson has been selected for one of the most iconic superheroes in all of, like, comics. Is, well, remember, Batman is not a superhero per se, but he is a hero that is classed as super because he does things with a morality code. There's been times he's broken the code in certain comics where he has, unfortunately, offed good and bad people. But the Dark Knight being portrayed by Patterson, I'm intrigued. Will he have a voice modulator? Will he do his own voice, his own interpretation? Only time will tell. It depends on what they'll do with the costume as well. Because for me, Batman is defined by the gadgets. He's like basically James Bond to me, but because he goes for the women. Only difference is he has an access to riches and so many sidekicks. I'm quite excited where the Patterson world is going to be, because there's been loads of speculation and rumours that Joaquin Phoenix, incredible as the Joker, by the way, that was an amazing film, ladies and gentlemen, if you've still not seen. There's been talk that he might have his own Jokerverse and Patterson might appear as Batman for that. But who knows, or he could cross over, only time would tell. Also, speaking of time will tell, it's not long until Crisis Begins. Oh my goodness, how long has that been foretold? It has been foreshadowed for so long. They're virtually finishing off in Vancouver soon. I think it's going to be a wild ride. And I can't wait for it. I'll tell you what else I've been loving, ladies and gentlemen. It's also American Horror Story. The new series has just been so many twists and mind melds. I think I've talked a bit about it in the previous podcast, but if you've still not seen, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but it's just wow. It's gone back to basics. All the cast are just maniacally evil. It's a simple story, but it's so twisted and effective. You'd love it. And I absolutely love the show. It's amazing how far it's come. And the 100th episode aired the other week, and I thought it was spectacular. I can't wait to see how far American Horror Story can go, because it's a show that, rightly as its own, has come so far since Murder House, which I never saw when it originally aired. I think the first time I got into the show was at the back end of Coven and the start of Freak Show. And I went back and rewatched the previous seasons, and I loved it. I think it's a brilliant series, and Ryan Murphy should be proud of all the work that he's done. Also, speaking of work to be done, what on earth is going on? We went from Rian Johnson being definitive, knowing that he's still on track for his Star Wars trilogy, and now he's not quite certain if it's still going to happen. Then we've had the gentleman from the Game of Thrones franchise walk away because they're saying it's due to a Netflix deal, which is a bit... What? Then you got Game of Thrones' prequel that has just been cancelled, and then they've replaced it with another prequel. What is going on in the world, ladies and gentlemen, of the film and TV industry? It's going a bit bonkers at the minute when people are walking away from projects that fans actually want and have been waiting for such a long time. It's just... This reminds me at the start of Solo, when we had the two people from the Lego the Lego movie directors getting fired halfway through the movie. But just don't blame them, ladies and gentlemen. Just, as directors, you're following a story that you're creating and adding on to the Star Wars lore. But if you're not told the brief was not to make it a comedy movie, then you should have told them from day one it is not a comedy movie, instead of firing them halfway through the film and calling Ron Howard to fix the film. If you wanted to make it a beautiful collaboration, is call them back in, get Ron Howard in, and then bring them together and then decide what worked or not. I mean, I still loved Solo for what it was, but I just think it was the wrong time when people... To this day, I can still not understand why people are still... Not everyone, but there are certain people who still despise The Last Jedi. I've seen it all, I've heard it all about the movie, and I've done a reassessment of the film lately, and in honesty, it was nowhere near as bad as made out to be. People had said The Phantom Menace was the worst in history, and then they said The Last Jedi has replaced that in the worst history. There is no wrong Star Wars film. They're just fun, enjoyable entertainment. Just enjoy them for what they are, as they're supposed to be fun. No, this is not that kind of podcast where we're going to be all judgy, but I'm sorry if I sound a bit pressed for time. It's just purely because I've got bits to do again. I've got work to do on my own. I've got some stuff to plan ready for the weekend. So yeah. So I'll see hopefully some of you at the Soul premiere this Sunday coming up. Also, yeah, just keep an eye out, because the thing with Tossin Cole is a bit strange. I don't know if they're being lenient towards him. I get these conventions are all like second to actors working, but to me there is just something a bit baffling that he's being the most lenient to be allowed to do other shows. While he's still under contract for Doctor Who. Yeah, I get it's weekend and they've got a break and everything, but we'll see. Alright, we're just a bit out of time for today, so it's a bit fly by, but I'll definitely be back tomorrow. Yes, 100% be back tomorrow. It's just, I've got bits to get on with, and then I'll be back. Alright, speak soon. Bye-bye.